Hey, everybody. Welcome inside the broadcast booth to episode number 7 of the Brian Wright Show, episode number 2 of season 2, as we're still trying to get in a rhythm here. You know, we are brand new. If this is the first time listening to the podcast, welcome in. I have had a podcast for 7 years now, 7 seasons with the New Patient Group podcast, and we have been in a big-time rhythm over there if you want to check that out. But we're still getting in the rhythm here. You know, every time I open up and I look at our data, and already we're in the multiple of thousands of downloads. And those are all the people out there that I accredit to me kicking off this podcast. Is all of you out there. You inspire me so much. Anytime I see the downloads or you shoot me a message or we get another 5-star review, you inspire me so much. And what we teach on here is way outside the box. And what you're going to be learning today is something that I believe you will not learn pretty much anywhere else. And that is around the biggest lie you've been told about the success and lifeline of your business. This is something that is, if you could sum up everything we teach on stage all over the world to entrepreneurs, business owners, motivating employees to go the extra mile, to get more out of their career and life. Today is a big one, all right? May not be number 1, but it's certainly right up there. Looking forward to a great one and coming and teaching you to come way outside the comfort zone for all of your businesses out there today. And before we get started, let's fire up the music.
Welcome to the Brian Wright Audio Experience, a podcast dedicated to helping entrepreneurs grow their business, make more money, and successfully navigate through the chaos of life. All while working, spending, and stressing less. And now your host. He's a husband, a father of 2, an international business and life coach, and a trusted motivational speaker for some of the most respected companies in the world, such as Invisalign and many others. Brian Wright.
Hey, everybody. Welcome in and Happy New Year to all of you. Hope 2024 is rocking and rolling. We are just coming off our MPG Iconic event, and this was an epic event here in the Flying Horse Lodge in Colorado Springs. We had customers bring their team members from all over the country, as far as Hawaii, actually. And man, oh man, it was great seeing all of you out there, and it was a very inspirational and a very successful event. The feedback was fantastic. And it was great seeing so many of your faces that many times I don't get to see. And it was absolutely awesome. Going to be leaving. So as I shoot this podcast, going to be leaving tomorrow, speak for Invisalign over in Fort Lauderdale and speak there on Friday. And going to spend the night, come back and hang out with some of the audience members and come back Saturday morning to Colorado Springs. And then we've got lots of big events coming up. We've got the Nexus event. It's their national event in Denver. That is the first weekend in February. And gosh, we have all kinds of great stuff coming up. So I will make sure to keep everybody updated. And hey, I want to get a shout out to the listens. Look, you know, if this is the first time in, you haven't heard this before, I brought it up a little on the intro. If this is a regular listener, this is something I brought up every time. I have a passion to give great experiences to people and to impact their lives in some kind of positive way. And for many, many months, and actually for many, many years, I contemplated doing this podcast. And as far as the Brian Wright Show, not this particular episode. And, you know, the whirlwind gets in the way. You've got another podcast, Speak for Invisalign, Speak for Other Companies, business and life coach for people all over the world. You know, we've got digital marketing companies and employee training companies. And, you know, you've got the family, you've got all these things. And I am so happy that all of you stayed on my ass to do this podcast and to launch it and to stick with it. Like I said at the intro, I don't know what this podcast is inevitably going to become. I don't know. You know, my New Patient Group podcast is the first business day right in there of every month. I do a contemporary radio show. This one has been more, with exception, they've been shorter episodes. I intend to kind of do a mix, but I don't know. So we're just winging it right now. And hopefully so far, everyone's liking the content out there. We've gotten very good feedback. But they're going to get better and better. As I get into a rhythm and we get more and more comfortable, we're going to be bringing you some very outside-the-box episodes. And today is one of them, the lie that you've been told about the lifeline of your business. This is something that, you know, if you open up your eyes as a business owner and employees listening, if you want to advance your career, these examples fit in a little bit different way. But If you want to open up your eyes to really what's going on in your business, all you have to do is pay attention to your daily interactions with other businesses. There are literally thousands of examples I could sit here and dive into that prove what I'm going to be teaching all of you today. And today's not going to be long because what I intend today to do is be kind of a kicking off a series. And it's not a series that's going to go, it's not an 8-part series. So the next the next 7 podcasts after today, it's not going to be like that. But it is going to be kicking off something where, as I come across situations in my life where I'm dealing with another business and they give me an example of what I'm going to be talking about today, I'm going to get on here and create that and say, look, had another real world example today that goes into your existing patient experience, your existing customer experience, your existing client experience, whatever type of business you happen to be out there. And that's what we're going to be talking about today, is the experience that goes into the people that have already bought from you. I am so sick and tired. And this is why we have such a niche following and why our customers do so well, is what we talk about for the most part, you can't measure and put your finger on paper. Of course, all of you can look at your production, your revenue, how much you collect in a month, what you think your profit is, your new customers. You can measure those things, but the things that actually make them go in the direction you want them to go, there's very little to no measuring whatsoever. You know, you've got your weight scale, you can see that, but inevitably, whether you're trying to put on weight or take off weight, there's not a lot of things that measure that. You have to really pay attention to it. You've got to manually track calories. You've got to manually track how much time you are in the gym. You've got to hold yourself accountable, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And if you do that, and you do that consistently for long enough, you are going to see the weight scale go in your favor. The problem is too many of you out there, you pay attention to the weight scale. You're obsessed with the weight scale. You're obsessed with the bank account. You're obsessed with a whole world of things that you cannot control. And inevitably, that dives and leads me into today's topic on why it is for the 99 percenters almost impossible for them to wrap their head around what you should really be investing in as far as marketing goes. I have a very simple philosophy from a customer standpoint, regardless of industry, regardless of the type business, is that your goal is to create fans. There's really 3 scenarios. You create customers, regretful buyers, or fans. And to me, if you're just creating a customer, that's as bad as a regretful buyer. Now, you may not, a regretful buyer may hit the internet, write a bad review about you, where just a customer won't. But a customer is not going to engage with you on your social media channels. They are not going to talk favorably about you at the soccer games. They are not going to wear your t-shirt with your logo on it. That's what a fan does. And too many of you out there are so worried about advertising and driving in new customers and making a sale that you forget that the biggest and best advertising you have at your disposal is the people that have bought from you in the past, or from today to the past. Those are your best advertising dollars, period. The problem with so many of your businesses out there is you don't spend time on creating an existing customer experience that moves the needle after people buy. And there are so many examples of this. You take the advertisements that you see on TV. How many times have you seen an advertisement out there on television that gives an offer that's a discount to bring aboard new business? Cell phone companies do it all the time, right? If you switch to Verizon, we'll give you a free iPhone and your first month free, right? Or if you switch to T-Mobile, you get 4 lines discounted to $25 plus a free iPhone, right? We see this all the time. Insurance companies do it. Lawyers do it. Orthodontists, that I speak over with the New Patient Group podcast and my company over there in the ortho space, they do it. We all do it. When's the last time you saw an advertisement that went anything like this? Here at Verizon, we really value our customers. They're family to us. And what we do here is that we offer a premium service with exceptional experiences for our customers. And every year you're with us and you show us that loyalty, we're going to return the favor and we're going to discount your bill $3 a month. right? So our goal is that you stay with us long enough to where we can discount it to almost free. Come join Verizon, enjoy our hospitality, our family feel, and our wonderful cell phone coverage. When is the last time any of you ever heard an advertisement from any company that way? Right? Cable companies, if they were smart, it'd be the same way. Come aboard today. And it's like cable companies even sounds weird for me to even say that because their ass is grass and it's their own fault, right? They had years to create an online digital platform. They didn't. Now they're going to be toast. But when's the last time a cable company said, look, come over to Comcast and you'll pay full price today, but every single year, we're going to discount your bill $5 while giving you additional channels at the same time, right? Nobody talks this way. And what you're all doing is what I just talked about earlier, is that you are focusing around what can you measure, right? If you run an advertisement that says, join us and we'll give you a free iPhone and $10 off your line for the first month, you can measure the success of that, right? You're going to see how many new customers you've got. You can see how many plans were sold to make sure that offer worked. You're going to be able to put your finger and measure that stuff. What you're not going to be able to put your finger on is customer loyalty. And customer loyalty to this day will always be your number one biggest advertising dollar you can ever spend, is making sure that you don't have a leaky hole that's walking outside your back door. We always do this. Think about how many times you've bought from a place. And this is probably the best example I can give that proves the whole point. Is when's the last time you bought from someplace and you call them and you hit their customer service number on their 800 number and you hit the customer service prompt and had nobody answer, or you sat on hold forever, right? Happens to us all. And that's the norm, right? That is the regular experience. That is what you expect to happen. And what happens when you hang up, call back, and hit the sales prompt, right? Somebody answers right away. And that is exactly the entire point of why, if you do it the opposite, your company will kick everyone's ass. You have been lied to for so many years, everybody out there. Advertising's what's make you money. Advertising, pay-per-click. What's the next thing I can do to throw my name out there to get more people to call us, more people to buy from us, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And if you took that same attention and you focused it back to the people that have already bought from you, that is going to make you more money long-term, not short-term. And this is a big point for all of you out there. If you are instant gratification, what can I do tomorrow to grow my business? This is not the podcast for you. If you want a way to grow your business every week, every month, every quarter, every year for the rest of your life, while having happier employees, while having a happier you, while consistently seeing growth in the areas that you can measure over the course of time and be consistent with it, right? A nice 10% growth this year and maybe a pop next year, followed by a 5% growth and a 10% growth, while reducing and eventually eliminating advertising dollars. This is the podcast for you. I've got the recipe. I've taught it all over the world, but you have to have, and there's plenty of podcasts coming, an infinite mindset. You have to understand that the things that are going to help you kick ass, you can't measure. And a lot of the things that you are measuring are lying to you, right? How can we get our customer base that has bought from us to remain loyal? How can we get our customer base to be fans and out bringing us new business every single month, right? That is where your mind should be, because for every single customer one of your customers sends you, that is one less advertising dollar that you need to go spend, right? What is the best brand awareness? It's your customers. They are going to spread the word for you, which is always going to be better than you spreading that same word about yourself. But all of you are so inundated in what advertising can I do? If the economy's down, I've got to advertise more. This, and that. It's all bullshit. The lie that you've been told is that you have to advertise. You have to go out and chase new customers. That's your lifeline. The lifeline is the people that have bought from you. Be the organization that when I call your 800 number, you have the customer service team overstaffed and the sales team understaffed, right? How opposite is that from every company that has ever survived out there? This is why when you offer the unexpected hospitality book that I'm writing right now, eventually it'll be out. When you offer the unexpected hospitality, you get to charge more. You get to convert more. You need less customers, so there's less chaos in order to make the money you're trying to make. Your ultimate sale is not going out and hunting a bunch of new deer. Your sale is learning how to cook the 500 that you have frozen in the freezer already. You're always on the hunt. Got to get this, got to get this. Well, when did your job not include giving a shit about your customer? Right? What kind of culture do you have of what can I do better today for my customer than we did yesterday? What can we offer that's more innovative to our customer today than we did yesterday? Plumbers, lawyers, doctors that own their own business, real estate agents, the thousands of type of business, ice cream shops, restaurants, the thousands of businesses that are out there. You don't have this mindset. And this is why whenever you go to big advertising events, they're packed. When you go to hospitality events, culture building events, it's not that they're not crowded, but they're never as packed as the advertising. Because you all fall for this. It's like the politicians bullshit where it's like, just trust me and I'm going to help you with your life. And there's actually morons out there that actually go and vote for these clowns thinking that the politicians actually care about them. It's the same thing for a lot of you out there. Is the reality of the situation is many of you go out there and you buy into all this advertising bullshit. Just hire my company. And I have a marketing company. And I'm telling all of you out there that real marketing is not pay-per-click and websites and social media and all that. Of course, that's part of it. Real marketing is making sure your customer is taken care of. Yes, with a great product. If you're a restaurant that would say have unbelievable food, right? But it goes so beyond that. What are you doing unique for the people that have bought from you? What are you offering to the people that have bought from you to get them to remain loyal to your organization? A lot of you out there only need advertising because the people that have bought from you aren't sending you anybody. And you're not good enough with your team to know how to ask for referrals and online reviews, et cetera, et cetera. So your online marketing suffers because the culture internally is not set in a way that role plays with your team members so they have the verbiage skills to be able to build your digital marketing presence. There are so many, I'll throw one out. This is just the other day. So we have a Sprouts Farmers Market that's pretty much right down the street from where we live in Colorado Springs. And at this MPG Iconic event that I was telling you about at the beginning of the podcast, I had a couple doctors over on Saturday night when the event was over. A lot of people left Saturday to fly back, but some people stayed. They did Pikes Peak, the incline, and the weather was nasty, man. It is cold here right now, and it's not normal. It's kind of going across the nation, but had some doctors over. And I was going to do fillets. I ended up doing fillets and a garlic parm risotto and some crispy asparagus. And the meal ended up being fantastic. And I love talking cooking on here, by the way. So you're going to get tons of, whether it be cooking lessons or cooking conversations, you're going to hear it on here quite a bit. And the meal was fantastic. But I had Kristen, my wife, she went to Sprouts and she's looking in the meat department in the window and she's looking at these fillets. And it always cracks me up when I go to, this is the perfect example, how you showcase things and the framing effect and blah, 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 which there'll be plenty of podcasts about. It's unbelievable when you look in the window of these places, how poorly the meat is showcased. I'm like, don't you get this, that you've got to have the right cuts. They've got to look beautiful. You've got to showcase them in your window right, and you're going to increase your freaking sales. But what do? They half-ass the cuts. They throw them in there because they just look at it as a task. And I cannot tell you, grocery stores or meat markets or whatever it is, how much you lose your ass because of how you're showcasing things. It's terrible. And this is a perfect example. Kristen's looking in the window. She's like, these fillets, you've got a 4 ounce and an 8 ounce, and you've got like a 2.5 ounce and one slice down the middle. And it's just terrible. So she asks the guy, she calls me and she tells me, hey, this is what I'm looking at here. And she already knows what I'm going to say. And I'm like, okay, well, tell the guy to cut some new ones. Anybody out there that knows how to cook is never going to be okay with cooking those fillets. You can't cook them the same when they're all jacked up. So she asked this guy, and mind you, this is a grocery store that we give thousands of dollars of business to right down the street, right? My wife and I eat healthy, we work out, and we invest in the right stuff and the healthy stuff. And unfortunately, what comes with that is an expensive grocery bill. Well, this guy's response is, ma'am, I'm not going to do that. That's going to cost me and kind of waste hundreds of dollars of meat. This is a perfect example of all of you, how you sabotage your success because this guy couldn't see beyond $100 of meat that he thought he was going to waste by cutting fresh ones that were 6 that we needed, all 8 ounces, equally nicely beautiful cut. And what does this guy do is he's looking at the $100 or $200 he thinks he's going to lose by cutting new meat. Meanwhile, we're never going there again. So Sprouts Farmers Market, because of this guy who couldn't see beyond $100 or $200 of meat and treated his customer like total shit, is not going to get our business anymore. We're going to go to Whole Foods, which is about another 7 minutes away. It's not a long way away, but it's certainly less convenient. So what does she do? She goes to Whole Foods. She asks them nicely, can I get 6 equally cut 8-ounce fillets? Guy's like, absolutely, ma'am. Have that right out to you. Gives us the perfect cut. Meal ended up being incredible that night. This is what I'm talking about for all of you. There are examples everywhere that companies do to you, that companies do to me, where they can't get their mind off of the freaking piece of paper in front of themselves. I love the story, and we'll wrap it up with this because the story I'm about to tell, you're going to hear multiple times throughout other podcasts. Many years ago when Netflix was starting up, they met with the Blockbuster president. So the president of Blockbuster, and they presented their idea and they wanted to partner with Blockbuster. And this is such a good story that I tell all the time that just proves the point how so many people, even people that are quote unquote intelligent, just can't get out of their own way. They're the problem. And the president of Blockbuster loved what Netflix had. Like, he could see the vision, he could see the future, and he wanted to partner with Netflix. So the president of Blockbuster goes to the board of Blockbuster and says, all right, here's the deal. Here's the future. This company's got it. Let's buy them. Let's partner with them. They're wanting to partner with us. Let's go forward. And the Blockbuster board turned it down because at the time, right around 12% of all Blockbuster revenue came from late fees. And, when I hear this story today, no matter how many times I tell it on stage, no matter how many times I tell it when I'm being interviewed or on a podcast, whatever the hell it is, I laugh. And I also cringe because so many of you out there, you do that to your businesses every day. Blockbuster sabotaged their entire corporation, their entire powerhouse, their entire dominance because of 12% of late fees. The MBAs could not look past the numbers on paper and completely sabotage their entire company because they couldn't see the future. Right? This is what so many of you do, just like the Sprouts guy. This guy on paper saw that he thought he was going to lose $100 or $200. So he said, screw you, lady, I'm not cutting the meat. Meanwhile, we, in 3 or 4 months living here, have already spent thousands of dollars there, would have spent thousands of dollars or more throughout the years, and now we're never going back. This is a lesson that you must all grasp, is customer experience. Who gives a damn if it's going to cost you $100 more to take care of a customer today, if that means the customer is going to be loyal and come back to you tomorrow and refer to you tomorrow and talk positively about you in the community and write a nice 5-star Google review. And if you're doing things right and you have a robust YouTube station with video testimonials. But so many of you out there view that as a loss. right? Oh my God, our customers are going to pay $5 less if they're with us a year, right? Nobody does that because if you look at the revenue, it shows the revenue going down. Right? Meanwhile, what you can't see is Joe, Nancy, and Susie walking out your back door and going and buying from another company. You can't put your finger on that loss. And it happens to so many of you out there. It is a lie you have been told. Your marketing efforts should be inside your doors to make sure your customer experiences kick ass. That is your ultimate advertising dollar outside of building an exceptional culture through extraordinary leadership. That's always number one. That's always number one, and why I've done several around that already, and there'll be plenty more. One of the things we have coming up is this choreographed consumer journey. Maybe the next podcast I do, and I cannot wait to paint this image in all of your minds about what real experience looks like. It is the recipe of growing a business regardless of economic conditions, and I can't wait to talk about that. But let's wrap this up here. Point here is you got to get your head out of the freaking paper. You've got to start being badass at what you can control, and unfortunately, sometimes what you can control is unmeasurable, right? Your focus, your mindset, your self-education. You know, for many of you out there listening, you know, a degree will make you a living. Self-education will make you rich, right? So self-education is a big one. Self-improvement, all those things. These are the things, whether you're an employee trying to advance your career, make more money, get more out of life, business owner, growing your business so you can make more money, get more out of life. They're all intertwined. But the recipe that so many of you fall for out there is bogus. It doesn't work. That's why the second, a down economy happens, you have a bad year with your company. Or the second a COVID hits, you have a bad year with your company. Meanwhile, the politicians get rich. We all know that story. Right? But this is what your focus is. In 2024, one of your focuses has got to be about what are you doing for people that have bought from you that exceeds their expectations, is unexpected hospitality that other customers can't, or other places where they could be a customer don't. Because for a lot of you out there, the reality is you're the same as everyone else. What I mean by that is you're an Italian restaurant. Guess what? I have 10 other choices. You're a plumber. Guess what? I have 10 other choices. You're an orthodontist. Guess what? I have 10 other choices. You offer Invisalign. Guess what? I have 50 other choices. You're a lawyer. Guess what? There's 1,000 other lawyers. You're a plumber. You're a real estate agent, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. What are you doing from a non-service product standpoint that offers an experience nobody else will touch? That is the recipe of kicking ass in this economy, in this new economy that I teach, with a consumer that's evolving and ever-changing. They demand hospitality. They demand it more than ever before, but there's never been a time before where less companies offer it, giving you an unbelievable opportunity to move forward, right? Are you thanking people for their business every time you interact them and say, Mrs. Jones, I want you to know this. Your business and your trust means the world to us. We're a family-owned business, and we know you have choices. And I just want to let you know that your loyalty is highly appreciated, right? Are your employees trained to say those words every time they're interacting with a customer? Answer's probably no. Yet you have money to spend on pay-per-click. How does your phone call go when I dial in? Is your receptionist trained on hospitality, customer service, psychology, verbiage, presentation, the art of bragging? The framing effect, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. The answer is probably no, but yet you can find a way to do television commercials. Right? What content are you delivering your customers that's educational, that will help enhance whatever product they bought from you? Probably nothing. But yet you have the money to go out and do radio ads. When I call your business, is somebody going to answer every time within 2 rings or under, giving me a friendly feel because you've created an exceptional culture that's going to make me feel special every time I interact with the phones or anyone else in your business or online, wherever the hell it is? The answer is probably no. Yet you have enough money to go out and run Facebook ads. This is what I'm talking about. It's not that advertising's bad. Advertising's great, but it always comes last. Your customer always comes first. Deliver the unexpected to your customer. You will kick ass because few and far between people can comprehend this stuff. just like that Sprouts guy, farmer's market guy, right? Behind the meat counter. That guy would never comprehend what I'm talking about today. Finite-minded. I'm going to take $100 that I think it's going to cost me now, and I'm going to pick that over the $50,000 this family would have spent at my grocery store over the course of a lifetime. This is what all of you do. It sounds asinine, but this is what so many of you do out there. You do it every single day. Your employees do it every single day, and you don't even know it's happening half the time. But a lot of times I think you do. Sometimes you just need to hear the message to go, holy shit, I need to change things. Be the business that the customer service line is staffed with people and the sales line with somebody that doesn't answer. That's the company you want to be. Take care of your customers. Go beyond, offer the unexpected, and it is the best advertising you will ever spend because you will create fans in the community that do the advertising for you. Change the mindset. We're going to have tons of podcasts about this topic as I come up with different, when we moved to Colorado Springs, our moving company was the definition of a disaster. I've got one coming up about that. I've got one coming up about hundreds of things that I've seen in my life that happen that represent exactly why I teach what I teach. Hope everybody enjoyed today. We'll be back with some more Brian Wright Show episodes soon. Happy New Year. Have a great rest of your January. We'll be back probably with more episodes before January's over. Talk to everybody soon. Bye-bye.